fuck his team, fuck his dog, fuck his cat, fuck everybody over there. My main job is to beat the fuck out of him, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
This might just be the scariest fighter in the sport of boxing today.
Watching very intently with Ellis pinned in the corner, and now Benavidez unloading on Ronald Ellis.
Everybody's talking about you, man.
One of the most exciting, fan-friendly fighters in the sport.
He's one of the best combination punchers in the sport, no question.
Benavidez now going to work. Look at this hand speed by David Benavidez.
You know, he was the little heavy fat kid and stuff like that, and he wanted to prove himself to the world.
When I was younger, I was the fatter kid, and I wasn't really the fastest, so I had to go in there and actually earn my respect. Literally, I had to go and take it from them.
You know, I was like 250, 260 pounds.
Everybody would laugh at me, but when I'd get in the gym and I'd beat that ass, nobody would laugh at me ever again.
Youngest ever champion at 168 pounds.
Mike Tyson gave me that name, the Mexican monster.
Benavidez.
There's only one guy at that weight that can get an upset against Canelo, and that's a young man named David Benavidez. I had him in camp sparring with Golovkin at a very young age.
I was a kid, I was his main sparring partner. I sparred him from 15 to 19. You know, it would go back and forth. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting the better of Golovkin.
You know, you fight Benavidez, no matter what you do, you are in for a war.
I was at 168 for 11 years. Nobody wanted to fight. My plans are to conquer the light heavyweight division, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Crazy, like 2 months ago, I wouldn't even think I'd be here training with Manny, like in the same gym as Manny Pacquiao.
And now the gym's closed, and you're the only kid in the gym working out, the only one.
Our story begins with the young David Benavidez, pushed into the sport of boxing at the age of 3 by his father and trainer, expected to follow in the footsteps of his older brother.
My brother and my dad will tell everybody at Wildcard, like, no, you think Junior's good, we got another one. He's gonna come, his name is David.
This is David, my other son, David Benavidez.
How good is your brother?
He's
really good. He might not look like a boxer, but he's good.
And I had talent. Well, because the way I look, people always rip me off. I get there and I'm 250 pounds and people are looking at me like, this is the one that you said was good? Like, man, get out of here, bro. But after I'd get in the ring, beat that ass, nobody be talking shit.
You know, he was the little heavy fat kid and stuff like that, and he wanted to prove himself to the world. The greatest fighters in the world are the most insecure fighters. It doesn't seem that way, but it is.
I'd always hear that, bros, and that shit would get me so mad because, bro, I didn't get no respect. I had spent my whole life boxing, so then the only way I could get respect is beat the shit out of these people.
David carried a chip on his shoulder, and by the age of 15 was already proving himself against elite opposition in sparring, the likes of former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik.
How cool is it to get in there and mix it up with this guy right here?
It's like a dream come true, man, a world champion.
Hey, this kid, keep an eye on this kid. He's gonna be top dog, he's gonna be champ. Mark my words.
Thank you.
Keep it up, keep the hard work, kid.
There's a video of Kelly Pavlik talking about me after the sparring session. He was like, man, this kid's gonna be a world champion after. Wow. And when he gets older. And then after then, my confidence just started growing. I went to Big Bear and I sparred Gennady Golovkin. This was before he was known in the US, Triple G. The first day we sparred when I was 15 years old, my dad tells Abel Sanchez, like, do you have any buddy for David? So yeah, I just have this guy that came from Kazakhstan. That's before he fought in the US, so nobody knew him. And then my dad just like, hey, you want to spar? I'm 15 years old. I'm like, yeah, I'll spar. He's like, who you gonna spar? I was like, that guy over there. So I turn to look at Golovkin, and he gives me, bro, the most killer look I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of scared, to be honest with you. Having a great sparring, both catching each other. We both throw a left hook at the same time. Boom, hit it to the body. We both go, ugh. So I sparred one time, and they were super impressed with us that I kept going back, that I was his main sparring partner until I was like 19 or 20. These sparring sessions were sparring sessions. They were real fights. But this, yeah, he hit hard. Oh, that motherfucker hits hard. But he knows I hit hard too. Yeah. Golovkin, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting the better of Golovkin. You know, it would go back and forth. That's what made me great. That's why I have the confidence I have now, and that's how I know that nobody can mess with me.
Having already tested himself against the likes of Kelly Pavlik and Triple G, David was unfazed upon entering the professional ranks.
Benavidez is smiling. He goes, okay, yeah, come on. David Benavidez backing up Rogelio Medina. And no body shot there. Body shot sending Medina to the deck.
Years and years of learning from the best had transformed him into a monster.
Go ahead and say, okay, the head body shot and another body shot. And is trying to bring it into the line.
By the age of 20, David had become the youngest super middleweight champion in history.
Benavidez now going to work. Look at this hand speed by David Benavidez, the 22-year-old. Benavidez blocking it out. Benavidez chaps his chin as to say, come on. He's kicking it up into another gear. Blood now trickling outside the right eye of Anthony Durrell. That's a nasty cut. And Benavidez is now starting to be the aggressor. Tom Taylor watching it. Oh my, what a work. David Benavidez may be close of stopping Anthony Durrell at Staples Center. Look at this, Benavidez. Durrell's got to fight out of it. Benavidez teeing up on Durrell. They're waving it up, and this one is over.
On the ropes, trying to... Now Benavidez at the right distance here, Abner. He is teeing off on Ellis.
Yeah, he definitely is teeing off. He's landing those...
Benavidez putting together these combinations here in the 8th. And
yeah, that body shot definitely hurt.
Right uppercut, another uppercut, and now David Benavidez pouring it on Ronald Ellis. He is hitting the body, the head. He is just strafing Ronald Ellis, watching very intently with Ellis pinned in the corner. And now Benavidez unloading on Ronald Ellis in this fight tonight. Great stoppage by the referee.
And still undefeated, David.
In 2021, Benavidez would sit down on Mike Tyson's podcast, where he would be given his infamous nickname, the Mexican Monster.
The youngest super middleweight in history, Mike. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, man. Everybody's talking about you, man.
Yeah, man. First of all, I just want to thank you, Mike. You know, I've been a fan of you since I was a little kid.
You're too young to see me fight, huh?
Yeah, but I seen your highlights, and I study up, man. I'm in there to fight, and I'm not just a brawler, man. I'm really technical. You know, I start everything off my jab. I think the jab is a lost art right now. Not too much people use the jab, and I use my jab very effectively. And I love throwing body shots. You know, I love throwing body shots because you can hit somebody to the head all you want, but once you get a good body shot, they ain't get enough from that. A lot of people outside the ring, they talk like they're killers, but they get in the ring, they're not killers. You know,
I agree 100%.
I'm in the ring, I don't got to act like I'm a killer outside the ring, but everybody knows what it is when I'm in the ring, you know what I mean? So.
Wobbly legs, taking all kinds of punishment. Oh, there's something to fight.
He is still undefeated.
After having lost his title twice for issues outside the ring, Benavidez had worked his way back to an interim title, and a fight with one of the division's biggest names only seemed right.
Tough fighter, and my hat's off to David Lemieux because he's the only one who had the balls to take the fight with me.
Well, they almost can't avoid you now. You got Charlo.
I'm no Mexican monster.
You've got Canelo.
He's accomplished nothing.
You have Caleb Plant.
David Benavidez. You know who the best 168-pounder is. If you want that, you got to come see me.
I'm not into ducking or dodging. I'm going to punish this dude. I'm going to box him up. I'm going to embarrass him. I'm going to punish him. That boy can't beat me.
How you think you do that guy Plant?
Beat his ass. You know, that's the fight I've been wanting for a long time, man. You know, he talks a lot. This dude was getting way too disrespectful. He's calling me fat, saying this and that I'm not nothing, you know. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the titles. The one thing I care about is I want to hurt this dude. That's all I want to do. And if I don't hurt him, then it's not going to be a win for me. You know, I want this guy to remember me for the rest of his life. I'm going to beat the fucking living shit out of you. Oh, yeah, and then when you're in the fucking ground bleeding from your fucking mouth, you're going to realize how to respect a real. Watch, March 25th, mark my words. I'm going to put this motherfucker in the hospital.
Touch him up.
They stare daggers through each other's eyes. This crowd has already erupted.
As many expected, Plant would start the fight strong, taking an early lead.
Oh, and that left hand popped Benavidez's head back.
However, by the middle rounds, Benavidez's pressure had begun to take a toll on Plant, leaving him with no other option but to hold on.
Starting to wear down. Plant hurt. Plant is hurt in a major way.
Now a left hook, and now Benavidez unloading the left. Plant trying to hold on.
You can't let him roll this much. How can
He's not even received one warning.
No movement. He is just in one spot where Benavidez wants him. Fast round and big left hook. Results when he started going to the body. Right hand.
By the late rounds, Plant is gassed and looking to survive until the final bell.
Listen to me. If you don't give me a little bit more, I'ma call it.
Gutsy display by Caleb Plant.
He is leaving it all in the ring, both going toe
the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
That's why I'm called the Mexican monster, because gotta keep coming like a monster. I have a lot of respect for Canelo Alvarez, but he has to give me that shot now. Me versus Canelo. Let's make it happen in September.
Despite his call out, Benavidez' next opponent would be undefeated challenger Dmitry Andrade.
Oh, heavy right hand. Down goes Andrade in the fourth.
The fight would prove to be a one-sided affair, with Benavidez breaking down the smaller man.
Fight is over. What a performance by David Benavidez.
Reminder, let everybody know who the the real champion is at 168 is. I'm the youngest super middleweight champion in the world, 3-time world champion. Now just give me the fight that we all want to see. Who wants to see David Benavidez versus Canelo? Let's get it.
It's almost impossible to talk about David Benavidez' career without mentioning his rivalry with Canelo Alvarez. The two's journey became intertwined the moment Benavidez laid claim as the division's #1 contender and then mandatory for Canelo's super middleweight titles, which Canelo continually denied.
He brings nothing to the table for me, just 25 pounds more in the night.
For years, the champion refused the fight, making his demands for a Benavidez super fight clear.
One promoter who I worked, they come and say, I offer to you 150, 200 million, I fight tomorrow.
It's crazy that he asked for 150 million or 200 million to fight me, but he still has the nerve to say that I don't bring nothing to the table. So if I didn't bring nothing to the table, why are you asking for more money than you won in your whole career if I don't mean anything? Maybe after he gets that money, he can buy himself a pair of balls.
The way he talks, he thinks he's Superman. He is very disrespect and he's accomplished nothing. Plus, at this point in my career, I can do whatever I want.
With the face of boxing refusing him an opportunity, Benavidez looked elsewhere as he moved up in weight to the light heavyweight division to take on former champion Alexander Vosdik in what would be a solid introduction to the 175-pound division, with Benavidez fighting to a hard-earned decision.
The Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
Now I'm at 175. These are some big boys, but I got a lot of things to prove to the world, and I'm gonna keep proving it to the world. You guys keep asking me about Canelo. I do not care about Canelo. Like, I want to make my own lane. That's why I came up to 175. I'm gonna keep showing you guys why I'm the Mexican monster.
Benavidez' next fight would come against one of his longtime rivals.
David Morrell didn't want to shake my hand. I felt disrespected, so I had to push his ass back and let him know what time it is. You know, I'm not playing with him.
You know what I mean? So he had a couple words for me saying that I was running from him, this and that. And, you know, I kind of had to test his temperature and let him know that I'm going to be here all night and I'm not going to be running from nobody.
The Mexican monster, everything's fake. Every time Benavidez after the fight say, okay, I'm the boogeyman, everybody know, nobody want to fight me. Say, bro, what do you say? I'm here. I want to fight Benavidez, man. Benavidez are here. Benavidez is not saying to myself. A Benavidez luego se me quitó la merienda en Cuba. Si se pasó un gordito, ¿qué? Fat boy, man.
Morrell comes from the Cuban school, so technically good. This is a difficult style matchup.
I got everything. Like fast, power, defense, attack, legs, move. I got everything, you know what I mean? Benavidez can't dance. You see the movie, The Robocop, right? He's just saying. That's it. Hand no can move, you know, hand no got nothing.
I don't have nothing, I suck, I'm a bum. I'm a RoboCop. That's fine you're thinking like that. That's fine. Show the people. You better not have no f***ing excuse. What are you gonna say? Just like you and everybody else I f***ing fought before you. They all say the same shit. I'm RoboCop, I have no defense, I have no footwork, no this and that. But after they get in the ring with me, it's a whole different story.
Benavidez would go to war with Morrell, pushing through a shaky moment early on.
High guard, get in there.
He did get clipped.
Benavidez is not going to hold, he's going to fight through it.
By the middle to late rounds, it would turn into a typical Benavidez fight, with Morrell struggling to keep up with the pace and high output style of the Mexican monster.
Left uppercut, rattled Morrell, backs him up. Benavidez saying, bring it on, let's go. Oh my, what a fight. And this is what he does. He brings the pressure, systematically breaks him down. Total jabs landed, power punches. It's all David Benavidez as he looks to go to 30-0.
The Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
This is Monstro's world. You know what it is.
I feel like I'm going to be the face of boxing soon, and I feel like I could really, take over the sport.
Around this time, the division's two kings would battle it out for undisputed supremacy in Riyadh. A fight of the year contender, which saw Dmitry Bivol avenge his loss to Artur Beterbiev.
And new, undisputed, light heavyweight champion of the
1-1 now against Artur Beterbiev. Is it time for one more?
I wanna a little bit rest because I had some injury, heal myself and come back.
The plan for what's next: Canelo rematch, Beterbiev trilogy, Benavidez.
The interim champion was ringside for the fight, watching closely as he happens to share a history with the new undisputed champion.
Canelo wasn't able to do it, sort of the same thing, Do you think you're the right Mexican to beat Bivol?
I sparred people a lot, so I know what happens in those sparring sessions, so yeah, I can beat him.
You think you're the guy?
I can knock him out.
Dmitry Bivol, he's a great fighter. I don't take nothing away from him. But the last time I sparred him, I hurt him. I hurt him back in the 4th round.
I sparred him a lot, and I had a lot of success with him. Last time I sparred him, I was 22 years old. So now I'm a stronger fighter, more intelligent fighter, a fighter with more experience.
I've seen a lot of interviews. He brings up the sparring that you guys had, and he says, based off of that, he's very confident that he would beat you.
Sparring, it's sparring. In the fight, of course, it's different. Benavidez, it was good sparring. Good sparring.
Yeah?
I like this. I'm not seeing on the sparring, it's like on the fight. I'm just trying to do something, I just have some mission for one sparring and I try to do it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But I respect him as a fighter. He's a really great fighter.
With rumours of a Beterbiev trilogy and a back surgery sidelining Bivol, the undisputed champion is forced to drop his WBC belt when mandated to fight its interim champion, making David Benavidez a world champion. In the coming months, interim champion Callum Smith is named as a potential opponent for Benavidez, but things take a turn.
Why other fighters were offered a fight with me and nobody comes to the table? Why is this the only guy that came to the table? Why everybody had other stuff to do, supposedly?
Whilst Anthony Yarde was known for his toughness and giving Sergey Kovalev and Artur Beterbiev all they could handle in a war, he still appeared to be a step below the Mexican monster's pay grade.
Avoided man in boxing. You've proven that yet again. We thought we might get a Callum Smith fight. How did that fall apart?
That's the one we were going for, but I don't know, something happened between them that it didn't happen. But at the end of the day, we got a great replacement. Anthony Yarde, he's a great fighter, comes to fight.
And no disrespect to Yarde, he comes to fight, but you deserve a super fight. Obviously, Canelo avoided you, and now there's an undisputed opportunity that seems to elude you also.
Yeah, but there's only so much that we could do. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna put my career on hold for nobody. These fights are gonna happen sooner or later. I'm not going nowhere. Like I told everybody, I'm gonna be the best in the world.
The reigning, defending, undefeated, light heavyweight champion of the world.
As expected, the Mexican monster would punish Anthony Yarde, brutally stopping him in the 7th.
They said I couldn't stop this guy. I had no power 175, and I made it look easier than Kovalev and Beterbiev. I got some news for you guys. May 2nd, me versus Zurdo Ramirez. I'm going up the cruiserweight to challenge for his title. So
Benavidez announces a move up to the cruiserweight division, where he would challenge Zurdo Ramirez in a May 2nd all-Mexican clash, in hopes of becoming a 3-weight division world champion.
I didn't get the opportunity at 168. Now I'm not getting the opportunity at 175. But I'm not waiting for nobody no more. I'm making my own lane. And Canelo, Bivol, and Beterbiev, they all know that this is an extremely hard fight. And I believe in myself. I believe in my skills. I believe in my chin. And I believe I will prevail against anybody who gets put in that ring with me. There's no stopping me.